internet of value at Ripple, we're thinking much bigger than just cross-border payments. It's kind of like Amazon with rare books in the early days, just this market happens to be a $10 trillion market.
We are at a historic turning point.
Said in the past that you are doing for money what email did for communication.
Moving the whole revolution forward.
Take on it.
There's trillions of dollars parked around the world.
XRP.
Is there a possibility that Ripple could take over SWIFT one day?
Well,
welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to another episode of 24 Hours in Crypto. Let's get right in today's video. They're lying to all of us. $12 by 2028. Are you kidding me? Why would they even do that? Because the math behind that doesn't even make sense whatsoever. They're pretty much saying that XRP is going to take forever to scale, and the best part is they invested into Ripple back in 2015, and what are the odds they're coming out here in 2025 knowing everything we know, giving a prediction to XRP saying that $12.50 before President Trump's term ends. That is just so funny. Honestly, ladies and gentlemen, go ahead and smash that like button, because in today's episode we're going to go over some metrics, some math to when we could possibly see $12 and why Standard Chartered is coming out here and saying this kind of nonsense. It's the part of the game, unfortunately. But let's set the tone for today's episode, and then we're going to go over some hardcore facts why $12.50 XRP is not going to take until 2028. And they're just lying to you like they lie every single time, because at the end of the day, it's just PR. They're not going to come out here and say there's going to be billions and trillions of dollars transacted on some of the top protocols that are being implemented as we speak. Let's go ahead and set the tone to today's episode.
Some say Ripple could be the next Bitcoin. What do you think, Brad?
Bitcoin is the greatest distraction from the greatest disruption that is coming to financial services.
Well, I think if we're solving a real problem and it's at scale, then I think it's a compliment.
If it just ends up being store value and nothing more, I don't think it gains relevance at all.
Some, I think, may look back on Bitcoin and find that it was the Napster of digital assets.
The first materialization is Bitcoin and the underlying technology that made it possible, which is the blockchain. Those were the boldest predictions and also the predictions that failed most miserably.
And indeed, our financial landscape is undergoing a profound transformation with the emergence of digital forms of payments, of which CBDCs, tokenized deposits, stablecoins, and other crypto assets.
The Bitcoin and blockchain. So the initial articles argue that transactions even would be able to be done instantaneously at a very tiny fraction of the original cost. Nowadays, we know that narrative did not pan out.
If it just ends up being store value and nothing more, I don't think it gains relevance at all. I think it has to be payments for it to be relevant on the everyday. Otherwise, it's just something you kind of buy and forget and only use in emergency situations or when you want to get liquid again.
I think what you'll find is that maybe the next generation of digital assets ends up solving some of the original problems that Bitcoin set out to solve. When we think about the customers that have come on board, it's because we're solving that real problem. We're changing the nature of a payment taking days to settle to California to seconds.
So I think if it doesn't transition to payments and find that everyday use case, it just gets increasingly irrelevant.
Week in which we learned that Tesla holds a lot of Bitcoin and plans to accept payments in it. Is this sensible?
Well, first of all, I think it is not a currency. It is in our view and in our analysis of what it is today, it's a digital asset. It's a crypto asset. It's one that was established back in 2009.
If you guys have been following this channel for a very long time, you guys very well know that Bitcoin is indeed the Napster and XRP is Bitcoin 2.0. I own Bitcoin. I'm bullish Bitcoin because I'm a part of the Ponzi scheme along with every single buddy. And I feel confident in holding Bitcoin because I know internally that they're going to pump it to some metrics that we can't even imagine and then do whatever they want with it. All good things come to an end. And what we need to look at is more of an asset that is going to be embedded to the financial ecosystem. So whatever happens, something even drastic wouldn't affect it too much because it is going to be the engine to the financial ecosystem. So let's go over and let me know what you guys think of that little montage of a video that we put together. So Standard Chartered ironically comes out 2 days ago and says that XRP is going to hit $12.50 before President Trump's term ends. 2016, Standard Chartered announced that they're going to make a strategic investment into Ripple, and their investment will further accelerate the bank's digitalization agenda in the area of distributed ledger technology. And here we have a quote from Chris Larson. Standard Chartered's commitment to digitization and distributed financial technology complements our vision of a future where value moves as easily as information moves today. With Standard Chartered's investment and continued partnership, we look forward to utilizing their unique network and capabilities to accelerate adopting amongst financial institutions. And look where we are in 2025. Like, that's a knee slapper. And, you know, nothing can even dispute what was done by Ripple since the inception. And even going back to 2016, it's enormous to what we're about to witness. And now what we're going to do, oh, this is the best part. This is where reality hits. Because, so Standard Chartered, again, they pulled this out of their rear end. They honestly just pulled it out of their rear end with no mathematical, oh my goodness, it's disgusting, it's disturbing, because they didn't say anything behind this, right? So I'm going to give you just a rough overview, and again, fully fact-based, to why, you know, it's not going to take until 2028 for this to happen. And we're going to come back to this when XRP is at $12 a lot faster than a lot of you guys think. So let's go back to the fundamental valuation framework by Robert Mitchnick and Susan Atley. And Susan is a professor at Stanford University and has been for a very long time. And she is a complete genius and held very, very high level roles in her career. I'm not going to go over that because I've covered it many, many times before, but just take my word for it. And truly a very intelligent person. And you have Robert Mitchnick. He is looking over digital assets at BlackRock. He left Ripple and went over to BlackRock and has been looking over digital assets within BlackRock since then and has never looked back. And when they put this valuation together, remember that they gave a high estimate valuation for Bitcoin on a conservative scale with, you know, some mellow metrics. They set that by 2030. Again, this is a 2030 vision. They said a $93,000 Bitcoin is going to be hit by 2030. And we achieved that this year. And they also said the low end is going to be 45,000. And again, we achieved that way before 2030. So what I'm trying to tell you right here is this is math, and math doesn't lie. And they gave just a rough projection, and they overly achieved these targets. And why this is important is because they did the same targets for XRP, and then wait until we get into some volumes and some of the calculations they calculated, okay? This is the best part about this. Like, rewatch the video if you have to, because this is so important, and I want you guys just to indulge all this. They said that XRP by 2030 is going to go to $32.91, and on the low end, it's going to be $6.37, okay? And we saw half this, you know, this year, right? We were almost there. And we're going to get there. We're going to get to 32, we're going to get to 75, we're going to get to 100 without a doubt. It's not a matter of, you know, is it going to it's happening. Let's go look over the numbers they played around with, because this is so funny and you're going to agree with me. So for their high estimate, you know what, let's start with the low estimate of $6, and, you know, it's pretty much Standard Chartered by 2028. They're saying pretty much XRP is going to reach $7, give or take, when we have a transaction volume of $191 billion. Okay, daily XRP transaction volume, so within 24 hours. And look at the adoption rate. Very, very small, right? 1%, 15%, 30%. Why these numbers are so important is because this was put together back in 2018. And in 2025, we know these adoption numbers are way higher. And we know that these institutions have really woken up to this technology. And they are very well aware that if they don't get in now and adopt this technology, and adopting this technology means utilizing these assets, which means in return, you have to self-custody or utilize these assets within your network. So there's going to be a major demand piling up for valuable tokens that provide real world use case. So when we go to the high estimates here, they say a daily volume of $556 billion and XRP will be at $32. But look at these numbers, right? Because they're way outdated. $5 trillion foreign exchange is about $9 trillion now. Corporate payments, well over $85 billion, and retail remittances. Do you understand the best bullish part about this? Take a deep breath, is that they didn't even include any sort of RWA, right? Real world assets being tokenized on ledger, any sort of debt, security settlements. These are just talking about FX markets, corporate payments, and retail remittances.
Liquidity reservoir. And I am going to struggle to convey just how much capital there is behind this regulatory dam, because the numbers are just monumental, right? How much money is there? Well, let's start with the most liquid of the liquid, right? Bank deposits, stocks, and bonds. $400 trillion. There's another $379 trillion in real estate, right? Gold is $13 trillion by itself. And then you get to the entire crypto ecosystem is like 2.5 trillion. But quite a lot of it will end up in crypto, and a huge amount of it is going to end up in tokenized digital assets.
And again, they didn't also account for ETFs, ETPs, where these ETFs and ETPs will have to hold, what's the word I'm looking for? I'm having a brain fart. I'm not going to edit this out. I do apologize. They need to self-custody real XRP. Right, so there's gonna be major demand piling up, and when we go over just to we're gonna mirror this is the volume, right? So $556 billion in daily volume, they're saying is gonna give XRP rough estimates of $32. And the best part about this calculation was they did it with all the XRP circulating, and we know all the XRP is not gonna be circulating for a very long time. Hence why this is even more bullish. Let's go take a look at this number, okay? So 556 billion, okay? Remember that, and 191 billion. So they're saying 191 billion, give or take, when that happens, $7 XRP, 24-hour volume for XRP being utilized, and $556 billion within 24 hours, and that would put XRP around $32. But these numbers are peanuts, because if we take a look at Tether, an unregulated money laundering machine, is currently at $91 billion. So like pretty much, let's just say round up to $100 billion. Okay, $100 billion. They're saying when XRP, a digital asset that has been pretty much everybody has been around, right? Like all the elites, everybody is pretty much designing their systems where a digital asset like XRP is going to be leveraged very heavily, because it's going to help their day-to-day activities. Like XRP, 191 billion, 24 hours, $7. And you have, Tether doing $100 billion. So listen, there's going to be a drastic spike, right? Right now, XRP is at $5 billion on a 24-hour volume. We're going to see this at 50 billion, 100 billion, okay, 250 billion. And here's the thing. Once these USDC, for example, and RLUSD start scaling, it's going to start seeing 24-hour volumes double what Tether is, because USDC and RLUSD is going to be plugged into a regulated ecosystem where they could actually use and move more value because it's regulated. Like Tether is not going to be touched by JP Morgan doing any sort of payments or transactions, because it's not regulated within the United States. And when will it be? How will it be? But again, Tether's for a whole different story again. But these are just absurd numbers, and with Standard Chartered pretty much coming out here, like, are they front running their asset? Are they trying to like not get people involved? What are they doing? It even makes it more weird that they've been working with Ripple for a very long time, since 2016, that they're coming out with, pardon my language, but like, it's truly bullshit for $12.50 by 2028, given everything that we even know. So with that being said, let me know what you guys think in the comments down below. I hope you guys took some valuable information from today's episode. Please share it widely if you can. If this is the first video you're watching, I didn't really go into detail with Robert Mitchnick or Susan Atley. Just go ahead and search them up. Look them up on LinkedIn. You'll see their previous history. Geniuses, to say the least. But again, it's just, oh man, I do this every video now. It's crazy to me what we're about to witness. It's truly crazy to me. And you got to understand how fast things are moving behind the scenes, right? We have April, we have May, and then we have June, and we have July. Things are moving fast. Remember, they want everything before June, mid-July to go kind of, clarity. And you're already seeing a lot of things happen on a daily basis. So strap in, accumulate as much as you can, cancel out all the noise. Don't fear about anything. Don't entertain any of your time into reading stupid stuff or any kind of FUD. Just know you have one goal, right? Well, two goals, because I got to keep this. Accumulate as much as you can. Don't think about a thing, okay? And just stay alive so you can enjoy the wealth. Smash that like button. We'll be back with another video.
It started with a vision, now it's spreading wide. SLT's the token, it's our Degen pride. 24 hours crypto, leading the call. Bringing XRP believers, united we stand tall. First ledger's on fire, trades like the scene. SLT's the movement, power in the dream. From the memes to the moon, we're making it real. 100 XRP, that's the deal. I salute you, you salute me. Together in XRP we believe. From the trenches to the skies we see. XRP to 100 destiny. This ain't just a token, it's a battle cry. For those who know, XRP will fly high. Salute is the name, SLT the ticker. First ledger's buzzing, trades getting quicker. Building the future, brick by brick. In a world powered by Ripple, the vision will stick. We're more than a meme, it's a movement strong. XRP believers, let's prove them wrong. I salute you, you salute me. Together in XRP we believe. From the trenches to the skies we see. XRP to 100 destiny. 24 hours crypto, the captain of the crew. SLT's the anthem, for the bold and true. Through the dips and the pumps, we stand and fight. Believing in the ledger, in the dawn's bright light. I salute you, you salute me. Together in XRP we believe. From the trenches to the skies we see. XRP to 100 destiny. So raise your SLT, let the world hear the sound. XRP believers, we're Ripple bound. From the memes to the charts, the vision is clear. Salute to the future, the time is near. I salute you, you salute me. Together in XRP we believe. From the trenches to the skies we see. XRP to 100 destiny.
We started building RippleNet with the thesis that crypto liquidity would eventually be able to support robust global payments, large payments. RippleNet was designed so that customers seeing the benefits of our fiat-based network could flip the switch to ODL once the market was mature enough. And this is exactly what's happening. Flip the switch.
I think what we're building has, it's solving a real problem. And I think all of the tokens, my advice to anybody would be, understand the utility. If there's real utility and there's real value being delivered to a real customer, there will be value in the token.